Hi scary lovers. Please like and subscribe if you're into scary stories like me, The Witches of Blackthorn Grove. In the heart of Eldermere, a village cradled by the ancient Blackthorn forest, whispered tales of witches lingered like mist in the morning air. The forest, thick with gnarled trees and cloaked in shadows, was both feared and revered. Villagers spoke of strange lights flickering through the underbrush at night, and the haunting sound of laughter that echoed through the trees. Alina, a spirited girl of 17, often found herself drawn to the edges of the forest, her curiosity igniting despite the warnings of the elders. They spoke of the witching hour, when the veil between worlds was thin, and the forest came alive with dark magic. But Alina felt an inexplicable connection to the woods, as if they held secrets just waiting to be uncovered. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, Alina decided to venture into the depths of Blackthorn Forest. Armed with nothing but a flickering lantern and her determination, she stepped beyond the threshold of the familiar, leaving behind the safety of her village. The air grew thick with an unsettling stillness as she wandered deeper. Shadows danced among the trees, twisting and turning as if alive. The path, overgrown and winding, seemed to shift beneath her feet. Alina's heart raced, but her curiosity pushed her onward. Hours passed, and the forest transformed. The trees whispered secrets, their branches clawing at the darkening sky. She stumbled upon a clearing illuminated by the silver light of the moon, where a circle of stones lay arranged like a forgotten altar. In the center, a fire crackled, its flames licking the air with a warm glow. Alina's breath caught in her throat. Around the fire, three figures clad in dark robes moved in a slow, rhythmic dance. Their hair hung long and wild, and their faces were obscured by shadow. She could feel their eyes upon her, piercing and knowing. The witches of Blackthorn, just as the stories had described. Entranced, Alina stepped closer, forgetting the warnings of her village. The witches danced and sang in a language she couldn't understand, their voices weaving a spell that seemed to draw her in. It felt as if the forest itself had come alive, pulsating with energy. Suddenly, one of the witches turned, her gaze locking onto Alina's. With a voice like rustling leaves, she spoke. "Why do you intrude upon our sacred gathering, child?" Alina, caught in the thrall of the moment, replied, "I wanted to know what you do here." The witch smiled, revealing sharp, glimmering teeth. "Curiosity is a dangerous thing in these woods. You seek knowledge, but what will you offer in return?" Alina hesitated. She had heard tales of bargains made with witches. Some spoke of power, others of despair. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "One must always give to receive," the witch said, her eyes glinting like stars. "We desire a memory, something precious from your heart." A chill ran down Alina's spine. Memories were the essence of her being. To give one away felt like giving a piece of her soul. Yet the pull of the forest and the witches was too strong to resist. With a trembling heart, she reached back into her mind, grasping a memory of her mother, who had passed away when she was young. It was a fleeting moment, her mother laughing in the garden, the sun shining bright. "I offer this," Alina said, and as she did, she felt the warmth of the memory slip away, replaced by an unsettling emptiness. The witches paused, their dance stilling as they regarded her with a mixture of delight and hunger. The air crackled with energy, and the forest seemed to thrum with a new life. "We accept your gift," the lead witch declared, and with a wave of her hand, the flames surged higher, casting shadows that twisted and turned around them. "Now, child, you shall learn the secrets of the forest." The witches began to chant, their voices blending into an otherworldly symphony that resonated through the trees. Alina felt her mind expand, knowledge flooding in like a raging river. Visions of ancient rituals and powerful spells danced before her eyes. The forest revealed its secrets, how to summon the wind, command the rain, and speak with the spirits that lingered in the shadows. As the night deepened, Alina was captivated. her senses alive with the magic of the grove. But amidst the wonder, a flicker of unease began to stir within her. The laughter of the witches turned sinister, their smiles too sharp, their intentions obscured. The more she learned, the more she felt the weight of the bargain she had struck. When dawn began to break, casting pale light through the canopy, the witches ceased their chants. You have learned, but your memory is ours now. Beware the price of knowledge, for it is not without cost. The lead witch warned, her voice a low, haunting echo. Alina felt a profound shift within her, a void where the memory of her mother once lived. Panic gripped her. What have you done to me? She cried, but the witches merely laughed, their eyes glinting with a mix of mischief and malice. You will find your way back, but you will never be the same. The forest will always be with you, and its whispers will follow you into the light. They chanted in unison, their voices melding into a cacophony that filled the air. Without warning, Alina was propelled backward, stumbling out of the clearing. The trees closed in around her, their branches like fingers gripping her shoulders, guiding her toward the exit of the forest. She ran, the path twisting and turning beneath her feet, the laughter of the witches ringing in her ears. As she burst through the edge of Blackthorn forest, the sun rose, illuminating the village before her. But as she turned back, the forest loomed dark and silent, the witches now mere shadows in her memory. Days turned into weeks, but the emptiness gnawed at her. The laughter of her mother, once a cherished sound, was now lost to her. The villagers noticed her change. The light in her eyes had dimmed, replaced by a haunting sadness. No matter how much she tried to shake it off, the whispers of the forest echoed in her mind, a constant reminder of her bargain. Determined to reclaim what she had lost, Alina sought the guidance of an old woman known for her wisdom in the village. She was rumored to have once been a witch herself, a remnant of a forgotten time. As Alina approached her cottage, nestled at the edge of the village, the air grew thick with the scent of herbs and the faint sound of bubbling water. The woman, cloaked in tattered robes, welcomed Alina with a knowing look. "You've come seeking what you've lost, haven't you?" she asked, her voice soft yet firm. Alina nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "I made a mistake. I traded my memory for knowledge, and now I regret it." The old woman nodded thoughtfully, her gaze piercing. "The forest is a powerful entity. It gives, but it takes. To reclaim your memory, you must confront the witches and face the darkness within yourself." Alina shivered at the thought, but she knew she had no choice. The old woman provided her with a charm, a small, intricately carved piece of wood, imbued with protective energy. "It will shield you from their magic, but remember, the forest is cunning. Trust your instincts and do not stray from your path." That night, Alina ventured back into Blackthorn Forest, the moon guiding her steps. The trees loomed overhead, their branches creating a web of shadows that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. As she stepped into the clearing where she had first encountered the witches, the air crackled with tension. The witches emerged from the shadows, their eyes glimmering with anticipation. "Back so soon, little one?" The lead witch purred, her smile wide and sinister. "Have you come to trade again?" "I want my memory back," Alina demanded, her voice steady despite the fear that clutched at her heart. "Ah, but memories are not easily returned," the witch replied, her voice silky and sweet. "What will you give us in exchange?" Alina felt the weight of the charm in her pocket, a reminder of her purpose. "I refuse to trade anything else. I will reclaim what is mine by confronting you." The witches laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the clearing. "Very well, child. If you wish to confront us, then let us play a game of fate." The lead witch extended her hands, and the other two joined her, weaving an intricate spell that enveloped the clearing in a shroud of darkness. Alina felt her heart race as the ground beneath her shifted, pulling her into a realm where nightmares and reality intertwined. Suddenly, she found herself alone in a dark void, surrounded by echoes of her past. Visions of her mother flickered before her eyes, laughter mingling with the sadness of her absence. The darkness pressed in, and the whispers of the forest filled her ears, urging her to abandon her quest. But amidst the despair, she clung to the charm, feeling its warmth pulse against her skin. "No, you will not take my memories," she shouted into the abyss, channeling every ounce of her strength. The charm glowed brighter, pushing back against the darkness. As she stood firm, the witch's laughter faded, replaced by a low growl. Alina stood her ground, the charm glowing fiercely in her hand. The darkness writhed around her, but she felt a surge of strength coursing through her veins. "You will not take my memories," she shouted again, her voice echoing defiantly. The air crackled, and the witch's laughter turned to hissing. "You think you can resist us, child?" The lead witch snarled, her eyes narrowing. "You have already lost so much." But Elena focused on the warmth of the charm, recalling her mother's laughter, the joy of their shared moments. "I refuse to let you define me," she declared. With each word, the charm pulsed brighter, illuminating the void and pushing back the encroaching darkness. Suddenly, the witches appeared before her, their forms flickering like flames. "Very well," the lead witch said, her voice a low rumble. "If you wish to reclaim your memory, you must face your fears." The void shifted, and Elena found herself back in the clearing, the witches circling her like wolves. "Confront the pain of your loss," the lead witch commanded. "Only then can you reclaim what is yours." As the forest came alive with haunting whispers, memories surged forth. Her mother's gentle smile, the warmth of her embrace, the day she lost her. Tears streamed down Elena's face as she embraced the pain, allowing herself to remember fully. In that moment of vulnerability, the charm in her hand glowed with radiant light. The witches recoiled, their forms flickering. "No!" the lead witch screamed, but Elena's resolve only strengthened. "You cannot take what is mine." With a final surge of power, she raised the charm high, and a blinding light erupted, engulfing the clearing. The witches shrieked, their figures dissolving into the light, their power dissipating like smoke. When the light faded, Elena found herself alone in the clearing. The warmth of her memories returned, filling the void left by the witches. She could hear her mother's laughter clearly now, as if she were right beside her. Elena took a deep breath, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. The forest, once a place of fear, now felt like a part of her. She turned back toward the village, the morning sun breaking through the trees, illuminating her path. As she stepped out of the forest, the villagers noticed the change in her demeanor. The light in her eyes was restored, and her spirit, though forever marked by her experience, was stronger than ever. From that day on, Elena became a guardian of the forest's secrets, sharing its wonders with those willing to listen but warning them of its dangers. The whispers of Blackthorn Forest no longer haunted her. Instead, they guided her, reminding her that true knowledge comes not from trading memories, but from embracing them, both the joyous and the painful. And in the heart of the grove, the remnants of the witches faded into legend, their shadows forever intertwined with the tales of those who dared to seek knowledge in the depths of Blackthorn Forest. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please let me know down below what kind of stories you would like to hear more from. Like and subscribe if you're into scary stories like me. Stay safe and I'll see you tomorrow.